Arts and Humanities Council is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's the designated agency of Montgomery County government. We provide support through grants and workshops. We enable and convene the community around the arts and humanities.
The relationship between Montgomery College and the Arts and Humanities Council is really a positive relationship, and it has all different aspects. There's the personal relationship, because those people are just fun to work with. They are into the arts, and they're smart, and they're talented, and they understand that we have a common mission.
The Arts and Humanities Council Montgomery County's budget is about $4.5 million a year, most of which comes from our county council, county executive, and there are nearly 1 million people in Montgomery County. So it's really just slightly over $4 per person, and to be able to have the opportunities that money provides is really exceptional.
We're all interested in education, we're interested in the arts, we're interested in accessibility to education and the arts. We want to serve the entire community regardless of economic situation. So we have all these great things in common, and what that allows us to do is partner in a number of different ways.
We do a couple of things with Montgomery College. First of all, they are a grantee. And so for the performing arts centers, we have provided support so that they can present the arts that the college deems important to the community that they want to present.
Specifically for those of us here at Montgomery College, which includes not just our students and our faculty and our staff, but the many people who come to our events, those being our performances in the Perilla Performing Arts Center in Rockville, the new Takoma Park Silver Spring Performing Arts Center, people who come to our art exhibits in Rockville and in Germantown and in Takoma Park, people who come to our plays, our musicals, our summer dinner theater.
Several of our faculty members get individual grants for various arts and literary projects.
And all of that is supported by the Arts and Humanities Council, Montgomery County.
We also have convened several workshops in conjunction with the college. So we've taught a class to visual artists to help them learn how to promote and present themselves, how to develop their websites.
We also partner with the Arts and Humanities Council on projects and workshops, especially from a facilities standpoint.
Because we at Montgomery College know the importance of the Arts and Humanities Council, not just to those of us here at the college, but to our whole community, we try to help the Arts and Humanities Council wherever we can by such things as having staff people occasionally on the board of directors.
We've worked together with the college on a few exhibitions.
We're always happy to provide space for them to do workshops such as the Artists in Residence program, where they train local artists to go into the school system and teach different art forms to the children.
I and Debbie Preston and others volunteer to do committee work and panel work for the Arts and Humanities Council.
We are working and have discussed working together in ways that would help both promote what the Art Institute is doing and the work that we're doing together, and helping to figure out a way that we might help them promote the arts incubator spaces that they have available to the public.
Another great project that we did with the Arts and Humanities Council was partnering on a presentation, and this was a first for us.
A colleague from Minnesota, from Arts Midwest, and the President's Council on the Arts and Humanities contacted me and told me that they had this group from Inner Mongolia that was touring the nation, and they very much wanted to know whether or not we would be willing to participate in the tour.
They brought in a group called Anda Union. They are Mongolian throat singers. Very interesting, very unusual.
I immediately contacted Deb Preston because she's a great colleague, and I told her what my challenge was, and she instantly made the college available. So we presented a group from Inner Mongolia at Montgomery College.
It was such a great opportunity to have this event on our campuses. So we worked with them on that and had a huge turnout. The place was standing room only. The community loved it, the college loved it. It was a great event for the Arts and Humanities Council.
I think as a result, there was an incredible new community that was made aware of the work that the college did as a result. We found two new communities that we never had worked very deeply with. One was an inner Mongolian community that's very large and thriving in Gaithersburg, as well as a senior community who is willing and able to come to Montgomery College and wants to look at projects that they're doing. So I think that it served just so many different communities, and it bubbled up, and it was really, really quite positive.
That's the sort of thing we would love to do more of. It's just to find opportunities where we've got some space and some resources and they've got a great artistic presentation to offer to the community. We were able to do it just for donations, voluntary donations, so we felt like everybody who wanted to had a chance to see the group. So that was one of the perfect types of partnerships we love to do with them.
First and foremost, by getting the kinds of grants from the Arts and Humanities Council that the college gets, it allows the college to present an eclectic array of artists to the student body and expose them to artists that perhaps they would not otherwise be able to present with smaller budgets.
Because of the money that comes into programs at the college from the Arts and Humanities Council, our students, faculty, staff, and our greater community are able to experience things that would otherwise not be possible from the general operating budget.
If there were no Arts and Humanities Council, you know, the arts would still go on at the college, but there would be a real void. There would be a void in terms of connection to the community, because one of the great things about the Arts and Humanities Council is it makes us part of a larger arts network in the community.
In the last year specifically, programs at the college have received from the Arts and Humanities Council something over $90,000 to produce special programs here that wouldn't otherwise be possible.
It's the grants, especially the grants to the Performing Arts Center, that allow us to bring in some of the more exciting big name entertainers that we've been able to bring in. That would be a huge loss to us.
A couple of examples of opportunities that have been made possible with the funding that comes from the Arts and Humanities Council include Marsalis presentation here at the Rockville campus, and coming up will be a dance company from the Ukraine. And these are opportunities that we just wouldn't have to see these kinds of performances without that money.
Sometimes I'm asked to serve on committees, which help me to meet other arts leaders in the community and other artists in the community. That's a very important connection we wouldn't have without the Arts and Humanities Council.
Our Paul Peck Humanities Institute gets some funding from the Arts and Humanities Council each year.
It's interesting because I don't know that the students know they're getting anything out of this collaboration, but they definitely are. It's not like the Arts and Humanities Council is coming to their classroom to do something, so they're not getting direct contact, but our programs are getting exposure through the Arts and Humanities Council.
Our marketing division convenes a marketing committee, and through the marketing committee, we hear about the needs of our constituents, and we're able to provide services to them, such as workshops to help them understand how to market their businesses better. We also have an online calendar so that they can post and market their activities in a cooperative manner.
One thing I love about the Arts and Humanities Council is that they are very thoughtful about the way they participate in the arts in the community. They're very thoughtful about their grants process. They are very inclusive. They invite people from all different arts areas to be on committees and task groups, and they want to make sure that they are a resource for everyone and equally for everyone. And I really appreciate that about them, and I really respect that.
I'm excited by what I've seen coming out of the college. In the year that I've been here, and before that, I have seen wonderful exhibitions, but more than the exhibitions or the performances or the plays that I've seen, what I know for sure is that there is an environment in the college that encourages and nurtures artists to be themselves.
Well, thank goodness that our county council, county executive, and state legislature see fit to help fund things like the Arts and Humanities Council of Montgomery County. If we don't give our citizens, and particularly our young people, opportunities to experience things that are beautiful, graceful, delicate, things that challenge them to think about other matters that they wouldn't otherwise come into, thank goodness we have these things, because without them, how else do we become a more civil society in which we're kinder to one another?
The Arts and Humanities Council and arts councils around the nation pretty much make whatever it is better. Usually we're agencies that enable and convene the community. We bring people together to talk about important issues in the arts and humanities, but as far as presenting is concerned, we make it better. And as far as the exhibitions are concerned, we've been able to support the cost of curating an exhibition and putting it up. We've been able to publicize the types of work that's done. So we just make things better, and it's pretty seamless. It's not something that you'll see up front. However, you'll see our brand and you'll see that we are there in the background making it better. If anybody wants to know about any of the arts and humanities offerings that are going on around the county, they need to go to our calendar, and that's www.doandgo.org. And it's a great calendar of events, so free, low cost, family, evening, whatever you want, it's there. And you can find it at www.doandgo.org.
People who would like to learn more about the Montgomery College Arts Institute can go to the college's main website, montgomerycollege.edu, go to departments and click on Arts Institute, and there's a wealth of information there, including schedules of upcoming events on all 3 campuses.
If anyone's interested in volunteering at the Arts and Humanities Council, or becoming an intern, or just learning about the things that we do, they can contact us at www.creativemoco.com, info@creativemoco.com, or they can call us at 301-565-3805.
This is the faculty exhibition for the Rockville campus, and each faculty member teaching studio art has a piece in this exhibition. We're all allowed one piece. Hopefully it's a recent piece so that students know that we're working. It represents painting instructors, drawing instructors, sculptor, metalsmithing, printmaking. And the idea is that students, first of all, know that we are real artists and we are really working. And then it's a learning situation where they can come in and get ideas and see different mediums, because we go beyond what is traditionally used or what's necessarily taught within the classroom. I'm the co-curator for the exhibition along with Michael Sastry, who is an adjunct professor here, and we wanted to have both a full-time and a part-time professor working on the exhibit. And basically, we just collect the art and we hang it. In this exhibition, it's fairly easy because all of the artists are right here. It's a fairly easy exhibition, and it's something we really like to do because we really are excited to see what everybody else is doing.
The name of the piece that I have in this show is called A Double Portrait with Elsa and Couscous. Couscous is my daughter's chicken, and this is my 9-year-old daughter. I wanted to do an image that represented her because I've been working with art based on my children for the last 9 years or so. She's 9 years old, so that's how that goes. It's been really important to me to do the work based on my children in this time period because they change, they grow so quickly.
My piece is The Elders, and it's a group of 12 people who are former statespeople. Basically, they're retired. They have nothing to lose with putting themselves out there. The group was originally brought together by Nelson Mandela, and it includes Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Jimmy Carter, Mary Robinson, a whole collection. There are 12 of them. They put pressure on different countries where there are issues of social justice, civil rights issues, ecology issues, and because they are not associated with any particular government, they can come together and do that.
To make this piece, it's a charcoal image on just white paper. This piece, working with the charcoal, I started as a pencil drawing from the photograph, and then started in with vine charcoal, which is a very soft, crumbly, light, kind of atmospheric charcoal. And it gives a nice beginning that you can take back, you can put more down, you can play with the surface before you really have to commit a whole lot. And then I laid in compressed charcoal, which is very dark and rich and gives the nice blacks that you see in the image. Charcoal pencil for the very fine details like eyelashes, the lip line you can see is charcoal pencil. Just building up the values, meaning how light, how dark different areas are.
The idea of the paperwork is that it's very fragile like people are, and yet I try to get the strength of the character within the piece. My son suggested that I try doing the elders. It was a little departure for me because you have to be very specific on the faces on these 12 people. So that was a challenge. And it's the first time I've done the paper pieces in more than one color. And I did that because I wanted to get the integration of the races within the piece.
When my first child was born, I was working full-time at the time at the college, and I found that I had a lot of stress because I hadn't learned to relax yet. And I was just with my child so much, I thought I could work on her. I'll do some drawings of her. That would be nice to record her. Then I realized how really precious that was to have those records, and I continued working that way. So all of the drawings that I've done, and paintings as well of my children, these are images that to me are very much about, you know, being a mother and recording for myself what I'm enjoying about my children and events that have happened that will have special meaning for me. I decided I would make a book for my girls, and I decided to make it a book about opposites with animals that they recognized, that they were familiar with at that point in their life, so that they could say, oh, that's a cat, that's a dog, that's a frog, and recognize it. I painted my bathroom in 2008. So I thought I could do a mural and make it something that's pleasing to be in. So I painted a sky scene on all 4 of the walls and the ceiling. It was an enjoyable experience. It's much nicer taking a shower now.
I first came to art unexpectedly. I have a BA in history, and when my kids were young, I needed to get out of the house. I started taking art courses for the first time, and I took them at Montgomery College. With the portfolio that I developed here, I was able to go to American University with just the portfolio from here into graduate school. To me, that said a lot about who the teachers were here. They really gave me so much.
I went to college at the University of Colorado in Boulder, and then I got an art education degree, and I taught for 6 years in Colorado, in New Jersey, and then in Wisconsin while I was going to graduate school there in Madison. I
had to get out of the mentality that I'm a painter and had to get into the mentality that I am an artist.
What I feel like I've always brought to my teaching is that I, especially at the college level, there were things that I felt like I didn't get that I should have gotten. Ways things were explained that could have been simpler, more specific.
You're not necessarily teaching what you focused on in education, which for me has been important because it has made me realize more that broadly who I am and what I'm able to do.
If you don't really understand what art talk is, you need somebody to just explain that clearly. And same thing with how do you make an image.
I'm hoping that's also what I'm bringing into my students, that they realize that, sure, this time they're taking drawing, but drawing isn't the whole picture, excuse the pun. It's part of the whole when they get through this program.
If you don't know how to draw something representational and somebody just says, you know, just draw some things here, to draw what you see in front of you, be expressive. What does be expressive mean? You need somebody to walk you through and give you some exercises that show you.
They're not going to be just a draftsperson, they're going to do painting, they're going to do design, so when they leave here, they become artists.
In my classroom, we look at the artwork when it's due, and I've talked to them about the work as they're making it, hopefully. And then we all talk about it as a group, and then they take it back home with them and make any changes they want, and then they bring it back in for a grade. That, I think, is one of the things that I was most bothered by as a student, that I felt like as I worked in ceramics, it's very hard to change something after it's been through the kiln. And I didn't feel like that was a fair thing. So I like that I can give my students that option to alter their work.
The Rockville Art Department is the largest of the art departments at the college. It is a very broad program. The department's broken up into sections. We have the design and color section. We have sculpture, drawing, painting, printmaking, metalsmithing, ceramics. We've got a full range here. All of the faculty members are required to have an MFA. We have 14 full-time faculty. The remainder are adjunct. All of them are highly qualified. All of them are very good artists, as you can see.
I think it's a beautiful show. I think that, you know, every semester somebody turns in something different, and sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's weaker, but I would say overall this is a really solid show. As a faculty, I think the diverse work that you see in the show is really a strong point for us.
It's that whole broad age group that brings so much to the classroom. It's a wonderful, we're very fortunate to have a strong ethnic diversity that brings so much to the classroom also, so it's a very special place. I can't think of a better place to teach, that's for sure.
I have older students and younger students that become friends. I have students from different cultures that become friends. And it's really a beautiful thing.
The instructors here really, really want to teach. And they want to be there for the students. They and it really brings a richness to it. And I really think that that's the big difference.
It's how do I communicate with my students, and how successful am I in getting the ideas across that they need to put down on the paper.
That's why I love it here. There's a real focus on the students.